nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts
Over 10 million people have seen me half naked. What I thought was just the usual behind the scenes content of me on set life in Cape Town, doing another photo shoot for this big brand, in my lingerie, wearing a white bathroom robe, walking, modeling, doing what I do, ended up being a video that was viewed by over 10 million people. And when I say I have honestly lived a very different life to the one I live now, I mean it. I genuinely feel like I have lived a few lives. My modeling career started in my 20s, and honestly, when I say I had a career that I didn't dare to even dream of, it's absolutely that. That is true. I was discovered on social media in my early 20s. I had taken to social media to talk about my body love journey, what it was to be a bigger woman in a world where people are telling you, you need to look like this, you need to wear this size, you should be eating this. This is what is attractive. I had gotten to a point where I was sick of it. I had been battling with low self-esteem for a very long time, a poor body image, and I decided, you know what? If I'm experiencing this, if I'm feeling all of these things, there have got to be other women who are feeling it too. There have got to be other women out there who can relate. And so I'm taking to social media to share it and to hear what they have to say. Let us compare notes. Let's hear each other out. Let's be that support system for one another. And so I post this content not thinking that anybody of this level of significance would pick up on it. Nonetheless, I get a phone call from Spree, or representative from Spree, which was an online platform, saying that there's a brand that are launching their clothing line in SA and they're going to be doing it through Spree. Would I be interested to come to Cape Town for a photo shoot to be a part of this body love campaign? And of course, I said yes. I did not think twice about it. This was the perfect opportunity to further speak on something that I was very passionate about. And so I was off to Cape Town. And that photo shoot was the beginning. It ended up featuring in True Love magazine. And really after that was when I started to book more and more and more jobs. And so before I knew it, I was being approached by a designer who was going to be showcasing at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. And she hit me up asking if I was interested in being a part of the runway show as one of the models. And of course I agreed. Again, another opportunity to make a statement about something I was so passionate about, still am. And so I take this opportunity, and that opportunity leads to me flying to Cape Town to be featured in Cosmo magazine, which leads to other opportunities, more collaborations, my following growing, more attention. Then I'm approached to be in a photo shoot for a clothing store, and I end up being selected as the window display girl. Here I am in my underwear, in the window display of a store nationwide. I'm walking into malls and I'm seeing my face. People are sending me pictures. I'm positively experiencing something I never thought could and would happen to me. Not long after that, I'm being flown to Lagos for Lagos Fashion Week, the biggest fashion week in Africa, to walk the runway show for Lagos Fashion Week. It's a lot. It's amazing. It's doing them things. My career is growing. I am on the rise, or at least I think I'm on the rise. I'm experiencing this career that is far beyond what I had planned for, or once again had imagined could ever happen to me. And in my personal life, I am now befriending people from all sorts, or rather parts of the world. I'm befriending all types of people, from politicians to business people, models, athletes. I know so many people. My contact list is growing. I also happen to be friends with a really big drug dealer. And although, no, I didn't take drugs, nor did I even know that this is who he was, what he was doing when we first met. This is kind of the direction. This is kind of where my life was heading. This was kind of what my life looked like. I remember there was a time when one of my girlfriends at the time called me up and was like, "Boo, please come with me on this date." And that was our thing. If we knew that this was a first time meet, it's either you send location so that I can monitor and I can always know where you are, or I'm coming on the date with you. And a lot of the time, the guys really didn't mind. I don't know what it was. They just didn't mind. Some of the guys would even say, "Bring your friend. I know it would make you more comfortable. Bring your friend. Let's all chill." He happened to be that person. "Bring your friend. Let's chill." And she's trying to convince me. This particular day, I don't feel like going out, but she's like, "Please." And so I go on this date with her, and I'm glad I did, because if anything had happened, And so we meet up, and he just so happens to be a politician. And we get to talking and drinking and laughing, and we're having a really good time. There's no awkward vibes. There's no third wheeling. There's no keying the two of them while I'm sitting there looking or having to pretend to be on my phone. Or no, we are all having a good time. We are laughing hysterically. Everything and anything is being said. It's an amazing time. And we end up leaving that date and him telling her, "We have to do this again." And we're all meeting. He's even saying to me, "Lindel, clear your schedule because we are meeting again. All of us must do this." And we do meet up again. We have more drinks. We have more food. We are enjoying. A few days later, I see a newspaper article. And this very same politician is being outed as being corrupt. All of this was normal to me. The drug dealer, the corrupt politician, business, it felt like it was just part of life. These are just the type of people you meet. This is just what happens. Then July 25th, 2019 came. I got a phone call to say my dad had collapsed and everything changed. My life changed. I watched one of my favorite people in the world taking his last breaths. It was like being shot out of the sky. When I say heartbroken, it just does not quantify the level and the depth of pain I felt. Going through something like that completely and utterly altered me. It was something to behold. And this was the first time I understood what Denzel Washington meant when he said in the movie The Equalizer, there's pain that hurts and there's pain that alters you. This pain altered me. I spiraled out of control, and to what everybody else looked like a model who was doing them things and her career was on the rise, was not the full and true picture. What they weren't seeing was the amount of drinking I was doing just to cope, just to continue functioning, because I had all these contracts and I had to fulfill them, and I had my own clothing brand that I had to keep alive and open and thriving. And so I'm drinking on flights on the way to do photo shoots and TV interviews. I'm drinking so that I can continue to design more collections and new pieces. I'm drinking when I wake up. I'm drinking when I go to bed. I'm drinking through really bad kidney pains. I'm not stopping. I'm just doing what I need to do to function and to get through. And as if that was not enough, spiraling privately, then I start spiraling publicly. I'm now that girl on social media who is half naked everywhere. I'm that girl who is in swimwear and lingerie and in thongs, and I'm just doing the most. I'm exposing my body in a way that nobody should have had to see. That to this day, I'm like, what was all of that about? How? And if I had asked my old self, again, that would have been normal. But in retrospect, sitting as the Lala I am today and looking in on that, I'm like, how? When did this happen? What happened? I am now spiraling publicly and still drinking like alcohol is my ally. At the rate I was going, I might as well have been naked. Honestly, I might as well have just been naked. I once heard Dr. Miles Monroe say that if you want to understand why something was created, seek those answers from its creator. In other words, if you want to know someone's true identity, seek those answers from the creator. He then used the analogy of a VCR machine, and he spoke about how if you want to understand its functionality, you have to read the manual, which comes from the creator. So who am I? What was I created for? What was my purpose? I had battled with grief, alcohol, and I had made really bad decisions. Then God called me away. It was not this loud, thunderous voice. It was this gentle, still, and yet very powerful voice that told me, remove yourself from social media, and I did. I understood that there were certain phone calls I could no longer answer. There were places I couldn't go. There were things I could no longer do. I yielded. I yielded to that voice. And after almost a year of God and I came back to social media and I was completely and utterly mortified. When I saw the content I had posted, the pictures, the videos, it was really hard for me. It was really hard for me to look at the woman I had become and the things I had done and the stuff I had been condoning and influencing and encouraging. It was really, really, really hard. I remember feeling like I just want to delete my page and disappear quietly. No fuss, no anything, no goodbyes, just delete and leave. And that very voice that had called me away from social media encouraged me to not do it like that, to take responsibility, to acknowledge that I had done what I had done, it was wrong, and apologize to the many people I had influenced. And I did. I came back online and I acknowledged and owned up to the fact that I was not. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm saying it again now. All of that was just not supposed to happen. It was not supposed to happen. And it was a lot. And besides the shame that I was dealing with, I was also battling with identity. It was that thing of I had spent 10 plus years building this brand, having this career. And now what? Who am I? What do I do? What? And then I remembered what Dr. Miles Monroe said. And I went to my creator for answers. And what I found shocked me. Well, in my mind, I was seeing this person who had messed up in so many ways and had made so many bad decisions and had made a fool of herself publicly. I was learning how deeply loved I am, how I was fearfully and wonderfully made. And it sounds so normal when you hear somebody say it, but when you fully understand, or when you allow those words to enter you, that you were made in the likeness of God, you were made in the likeness of your Creator, that is a very profound thing. You were made in the image of the very person who created you with all his power and his wisdom and his knowledge and his perfect being. And this very perfect being loves you. Oh, that's him speaking. How you doing? How you doing? I was learning how deeply loved I am. And not just that, that perfect creator who speaks with this thunderous voice is calling me his bride. Do you know how deep those words are? He is calling me his bride. The depth of that intimacy in a world where we hear things like, how much do you have? How many people have you slept with? Do you have kids? What baggage do you have? Is there mental illness in your bloodline? Like all these things to disqualify you. He's saying you are qualified. I am doing a new work in you. I qualify you. I make you whole. I make you perfect. You are so loved by me. Perhaps you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, Lala, I hear you, but you don't know what I've done. No, I don't. But you also don't know what I've done. There's some things that are between me and God and always will be. You don't know what I've done. The same way you don't know what the person sitting next to you has done. Everybody has got a story. I can guarantee you now, everybody has something that will always be between them and God. But I need you to know that you are not your mistakes or your bad decisions. Yes, you've made them, sure, but it's not who you are. It's not. And the mark of this statement is change. I always say, God loved me so good that I gave my life to him and he changed me. He is still doing such a mighty and good work and change inside of me, and he will absolutely do it for you too. You just have to want that. And as long as you still have breath in those lungs, you and your situation can change. I don't care what anybody says. I don't. And I don't care because I have experienced it myself. You cannot tell me anything. I know what it is to be changed. I know what it is to encounter the depth of the love of God. And even now, I humbly tell you, loudly tell you, boldly tell you, even in the little bit of understanding, I still don't fully understand how much God loves me. And yet, even with the little bit I grasped, I gave my life to him. Your situation can change. It is not too late.